What's happening, good people? Welcome to Where's His Watch Room. Today we're going to be reviewing the Nodus Retrospect 3. Nodus were kind enough to let me borrow this to feature on the channel, so massive thank you to them. You can find a link to their website and the watch down in the description. Fortunately guys, this one's got to go back. Don't get to keep hold of this one. But yeah, you guys know that doesn't change my opinion. Anyway, we're going to be 100% honest no matter what. So you probably noticed as well that the footage and stuff is a little bit different for this review. So really I've just been trying to grab footage as and where I can on my phone. With me working so much and doing overtime and stuff over holidays, I've not really had any time to like set up and do my usual stuff at home. So yeah, this is just all over the shop. So yeah, the footage, just ignore the dates and stuff. This is just grabbing stuff as and when I've had the time. So yeah, we're gonna do cover everything I usually do in the reviews. The specs, the good, the bad, and all that good stuff. Also, apologies if the audio sucks as well. Like I said, I've got to do this on my phone because like I said, I just haven't had the time to get everything set up like I usually do. So we're going to start, specs first, get that out of the way, and then we're just going to talk the rest of the watch. And if I do have time, I might get, set up and see if I can do some better quality shots, because obviously the phone's not great at shooting. But anyway, I'll do my best. So specs wise, we're looking at a 42mm diameter, but that is the bezel. The watch itself is actually a little bit smaller, around 40.5. With a crown, it's 44.5, 48 lug to lug, a standard 22mm lug width, 13mm thick, which I'm actually quite surprised at, because I thought it would have been a little bit thicker than that, given the double dome crystal and being an automatic. One of my favourite things though is the 7mm crown is awesome, but again, more on that in a little bit. Specs wise for case and everything, that's the usual 316L throughout. I've already mentioned that double domed sapphire, 200 meters of claimed water resistance. It weighs 152 grams as well, guys, so it's quite a weighty one. Crown is screw down, case back is screw down. We've got a 120 click bezel and some X1, which is a C3 lume. So yeah, guys, I think one of the things I really do like about this watch, first of all, though, is the bezel. It's DLC coated, and it's loomed as well, which you'll see in a little bit. But yeah, I really do like it, and one of my favourite things about it is it actually slopes in. It's not a flat bezel, it sort of slopes down into the crystal, so the crystal protrudes a little bit above it. But yeah, the bezel, I've never really seen one that slopes this sort of steeply into the crystal. It's absolutely awesome, and the effector is really cool as well. And I'm not usually a fan of DLC coatings, but do you know what? It really does work here, and Nodus have done a fantastic job. And I love that little pop of red as well, which does match other accents about the watch. So yeah, bezel looks awesome. As for in use, the grip is very nice. We've got a coin edge grip, and it's plentiful. I have noticed though in use, there is a little bit of back play I've noticed at times. In places it's around half a click, there isn't any at all. But yeah, a little bit of a shame. Action, solid though. Yeah, it feels great. Like I said, it's solid, but it's just got that little issue. It all lines up perfectly as well, guys, so no issues on that front. Yeah, really nice bezel, a little bit of back play. But another thing I really do like as well is the dial. It is such a nice shade of blue. It's a very, very deep and rich blue, and in some lighting situations you can actually get it to look almost black. It's that deep. It's so nice. But then when you get it out in the sun, it just pops. It is ridiculously bright and radiant, this dial. I also love as well that it's got a little bit of depth. The indices are actually cut in like a sandwich style and then lume filled. It's very, very impressive, and just gives it a little bit of dimension. Date window 6 o'clock, and again it's quite deep set into the dial. And you'll also notice there's a little border as well, which again is loomed, but you'll see that in a bit. And it's really well done, guys. Printing as well, pretty minimal. We've just got printed minute track round, Nodus branded under the 12, and then retrospect above that date window. All crisp and clean, such good quality printing. So I'm very, very impressed with the dial. It's so nice. Handset I really do like as well. high polish. We've got these sort of flattened off Dauphine style. They've got a beveled edge as well, so they do play and catch the light really nicely. The second hand is a needle pointed, but it's actually got a little flare on the counterbalance, which again, you know, just makes it look a little bit more premium. But the hands, yeah, they're really nice and legible, and again, they play with the light awesome. Finishing and everything on the watch throughout is honestly, it's fantastic. Again, you know, Nodus have really knocked it out of the park. The brushing, satinized, super smooth, and the transitions between the brushing and the polishing, because we've got a chamfered border, is crisp. It is so sharp and well done, and it easily, you know, rivals some of the bigger guys. Lugs again, you know, really well done and satinized. That crown we've already mentioned, very, very awesome. High polish finish, like I said, I would have, you know how I feel about high polish, but I actually think, you know, it does work. It gives it a little bit of contrast, and it does pop really nicely against that case. Size is awesome, and it is branded too. It looks really, really impressive. You also know we've got drilled lugs as well, which is even more awesome. And you know, it just makes those strap changes that much easier. Case back, you know, there's not really a deal going on. We've just got a radial brush finish, screw down, and specifications. What you will notice though, what you can see is the bracelet is quick release, but we'll talk more about the bracelet, well actually right now. So this bracelet, guys, is very, very nice. We've got female end links, and they are solid. Again, we've got that quick release, satinized, brushed throughout. There is a few little notches and stuff on it from I've noticed, you know, while I've been wearing it, but you know that happens when you do wear the watch. We've got screw links as well, which is awesome to see, and they're actually really, really nice quality as well. They feel really robust. And then of course, you know, we've got that milled scissor section, but again, you know, it's all really really solid, guys. You know, really well put together. It feels proper engineered. You know, you get the milled clasps and they just feel a little bit flimsy. This one, no issues at all. Then we've got the main, you know, outer milled clasp itself, Nodus branded. Again, fantastic quality brushing throughout. Double pushes, but I love how these are integrated and they sort of sink into the side rather than sticking out, and it just makes it look a little bit flusher and a little bit cleaner. Again, we've got that little high polish which matches the case perfectly, so it's all well thought out. My favourite part, however, though, is the Nodus glide system, which is their Node X. So you press the little button and you can actually slide it on the fly. It is so much better than micro adjusts, and I actually think it's better than glide lock as well, in my opinion. It's just a lot easier to use and a lot smoother. But yeah, awesome bracelet. Very impressed. You know, it's got nice flex, very, very well engineered. I'm impressed, guys. I'm impressed. So, you know, popping this on wrist, with a weight rate, you know, it's 152 grams, so it's quite a substantial weight on wrist, and of course that's, you know, with links removed as well. So, you know, we've had to take some links out for it to fit my slim wrist, but it will fit you guys with thicker wrists, no problem. If you've got a slimmer wrist than myself, it might just, but then I think the watch itself would probably be a little bit too big, you know, with a 48 lug to lug, and that, you know, 40.5-ish diameter. But I think on wrist it looks a little bit bigger than it is because of that bezel, because of how wide it is compared to the case. It does look a little bit bigger on wrist because of that. I think if, you know, if they could have made it all, you know, around the 40mm diameter, it would have looked a little bit smaller. And of course, you know, well, it wouldn't have affected the comfort per se, but it would have made it look, like I said, a little bit smaller for slimmer wrists. You guys with thicker wrists, no issue at all. I do love, you know, that downturn to the lugs, which does actually make it wear a little bit smaller. So it looks big visually, but it actually wears quite small. It's a really weird paradox it's created, but yeah, it's really nice, comfortable as well, guys. Even though it's a weighty one, it is very, very nice to wear. You know, the profile, the ergonomics are, you know, spot on. Can't really complain about the comfort at all. It's nicely balanced, so it's not too top heavy. So yeah, guys, very, very comfortable. Just wish it was a little bit smaller, or if they ever did, you know, a Retrospect 4, they should probably, I would reckon, do a 38mm and this size as well. So we're catering to both size wrists, smaller and larger alike. So I think that would be nice if Nodus could do that for the next gem. So getting it off wrist, and we're actually going to speak about the movement. So I'm not going to bore you to death with all the specs because, you know, it's a Seiko NH35. So I'm not really going to, like I say, dive into the details there, apart from one, and that is the accuracy. So this one is rated at negative to plus 10 seconds a month. And that's because Nodus have gone to the effort of regulating this movement. Now, it's not the most accurate NH35 I've come across, but it is still a lot better than it is standard. And obviously you can trust Nodus to do a good job because, you know, they don't do things by half, let's just say. But yeah, guys, as for, you know, the rest of it, it feels absolutely fine. It works pretty much like any other NH35. But I also like that they've colour matched the date wheel as well. And it just really, again, adds to that premium feel that you get in from Nodus as a brand, which is, like I said, what I'm noticing throughout my weeks wearing the watch. The crown, though, is very, very nice. And I think the reason why it's so big and quite wide as well is because the bezel does stick out a little bit, so you'd need that little bit extra. But of course, Nodus have thought of that. So you've got a really nice, strong purchase when you're using the bezel. The action, superb, no issues whatsoever. And because there's no crown guards either, you know, re-engagement is not a problem. It all like works pretty much, you know, buttery smooth. So no issues whatsoever on the usability side of things. Then of course, you know, we get to the loom. So it's, like I mentioned already, C3, but the X1 compound. So it's a little bit more potent. And do you know what, guys? It's very, very impressive loom. Obviously, like I haven't been able to set up my traditional loom setup. I've just been wearing it as you would, and you know, filmed it when it were a little bit dark first thing in the morning. And the loom is very, very impressive. It gets so bright, and I'd say it's easily on par with what you'd get from like a similarly priced Citizen and Seiko. I wouldn't say it probably beats them outright, but it's definitely up there with them. And I've noticed that, you know, if you do give it a full charge throughout the day, it will have a subtle glow first thing in the morning as well. And it's actually, in some situations, you do get a little bit of day loom as well. You know, when it's not too bright and it's just, say, a little bit dull, you can actually, you know, especially when you're not sort of indoors but not outdoors, you know, you like, say you've got like a covered porch. Sometimes, you know, you can see the loom in the day as well, so it's very, very impressive. It lasts for ages, and, you know, it's got that good longevity that you do want from loom. And like I said, I love all the little extra things that they've loomed, like the border around the date window. Again, it just adds to that premium that you get from Nodus as a brand. So yeah, all in all, guys, you know, I'm very, very impressed with this one. You know, it just ticks about all the boxes that you could want from a dive watch. You know, it's got that 200 meters claim water resistance. It's got, you know, impressive loom. We've got that screw down case back, screw down crown. Very, very impressive bezel. It's got the look. It looks fantastic. I really do like the aesthetic of this one that they've created. The bracelet's fantastic, especially with that Nodex system that they've implemented on the clasp. It's really, really impressive. So yeah, I really do like this watch, guys. It's easily one of my favourite dive watches I've ever reviewed. The only issues, like we mentioned, are the size. For me, it's just a little bit too big, and also that little bit of play on the bezel. But other than that, guys, I can't really fault it at all. Apart from, I would say, perhaps the price. It's $475 at the moment. And I think actually most of them are out of stock, which is a little bit of a shame, but hopefully they will be bringing another batch out pretty soon, because it's a fantastic watch. But $475, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking, guys, yeah, it is a good price. I'm not going to think it. It's not like the deal of the century, let's just say, but it is a very, very fair price watch. It's not amazing value, but it's definitely not, you know, too obscenely expensive. I think, you know, if it were missing a few features, then I'd be like, yeah, do you know what, it is. But I think they've packed in so much and done it so well that $475, yeah, it is a little bit for me personally, but for actually, if you take that aside, take personal out of it, it's very, very impressive. I think, you know, if they were ever to do a more premium model, they'd probably want to, you know, like a 9000 series movement in. to take it to that next level. But I think with this one, the pricing is great, and you're getting a fantastic watch. It's so well built, and yeah, it's really impressive. Like I just said, I just wish they did a like a 38mm as well. Then it'd be pretty much my perfect dive watch. But yes, this one does tick all the boxes, guys. So massive thank you watching, and I don't know when this is actually going to be going live, so I'll say either have a happy new year or I hope you've had a happy new year. And of course, over the holidays as well, I hope you guys have had an awesome time. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little bit of a different style. This is probably how it's going to be for the time being, obviously doing overtime and stuff over holidays and not getting much time off. But anyway, it is what it is. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.